All right, so recently Inception was back in theaters and I watched it. Banger movie. But let me explain the plot just because, you know, I got that big Rick and Morty brain. It's dream within a dream within a dream. That's 3 layers of dream. So I'm going to do that as a deck. It's going to be a game within a game within a game. Okay. And so our commander is Essica, god of the tree. Except it's really the enchantment side as our commander, which is the brother bed looking ass prismatic bridge. So our commander within our commander. And they say at the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature or planeswalker card. Put that card onto the battlefield, rest on the bottom of your library in random order. So what if I told you we're only having 1 planeswalker and maybe 3 creatures? So the idea is hopefully we're going to hit our planeswalker and not one of the 3 creatures. But if we do, it doesn't really matter all that much. They're still really good. So Karn Liberated is really our commander within our commander within our commander. And what they do for us is with -14, restart the game, leaving in exile all non-aura permanent cards exiled with Karn. Then we put those onto the battlefield under our control. So we're restarting the game. We're going a layer deeper, okay? So restarting the game 101, how's it go? Well, we shuffle, we do mulligans, you ley line and everything, and you reset commanders and tags. It's basically a new dream within a dream, all right? It's Inception Layer 2, okay? And you might be saying, but it's Karn's ultimate ability. How are we going to get it? Well, you know, it's simple. It's all about that loyalty. Okay, it's all about that loyalty. All right. So we got Deep Glow Skate. When it enters the battlefield, double the number of each kind of counter on any number of target permanents. So we're just going to double that loyalty. Boom. Now we're like 1 activation away from ultimating and restarting the game. Same thing with Doubling Season. Whenever the Karn goes onto the battlefield, it's going to double his loyalty. Fun fact, it doesn't double if you use his like plus ability because that's technically a cost. Who cares? Anyway, safeguarding Karn. This is very important. We want to restart the game and we want to keep our dream alive, all right? So we got Kaya's Ghost Form. When enchanted permanent dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. So we're just going to enchant our Planeswalker. So if someone does end up destroying it, it just comes back. It's just in case. Then we have Comeuppance, which is an instant. Prevent all damage that'll be dealt to you and Planeswalker you control this turn by sources you don't control. And basically, if it's prevented, it deals that much damage to the source controller. Very nice, and it's just in case the sequel. And of course, we've also got Norn's Annex, where creatures can't attack you or Planeswalkers you control unless their controller pays a Phyrexian white mana for each of those creatures. So either a white mana or 2 life, which is pretty good if they don't have white. And even if they don't, they still have to pay life, which is cool. It's a little cheeky wall. Then we've got Archangel of Tides. Basically, same thing. As long as it is untapped, creatures can't attack you or Planeswalkers unless they pay 1 mana for each of those creatures. He's a little cheeky fella. It's pretty good. These are actually like the only 2 things that can like protect you. Propaganda and some of the other ones actually don't protect your Planeswalkers. Fun fact. So we've also got Gaia's Blessing, where if it gets put into your graveyard from your library, shuffle. It's basically just mill protection in case Karn somehow gets milled right off the bat before you can get him onto the battlefield. You know, I'm a big brain. I got to plan out the heist after all. So here's how it's going to go. We're going to ramp into Prismatic Bridge so we can get it a little bit sooner. And then Prismatic Bridge is going to trigger, getting us Karn liberated. Then Karn's going to enter the battlefield. And hopefully we have Doubling Season or we've got Deep Glow Skate to get us to 12 or about 24, depending on the order and all that. So now we can immediately minus and restart the game, but not before we use Spark Double, if we have it, to Spark Double Karn and then exile the Doubling Season. So that way when we start the game next time, we have it already. And it's pretty fun. That way it comes onto the battlefield and it's neat. And we can have Doubling Season and when we get Karn again, we can go infinite layers down if we want to. All right, so here's game 2. It's time to get a little funky, all right? Bear with me here. The Commander format does not use a sideboard. Cards that take other cards from outside the game, such as wishes, must be discussed with the play group before being put in the deck, if you're a simp. So the idea is we wish for Charizard. Now you might be saying, what the hell? Why didn't we use this earlier? Or like, why are we doing it now? Well, for one, it's a banned card. So, you know, you can obviously take it with a grain of salt, but it's in our sideboard. And since our sideboards don't technically exist in Commander, it's technically not in our deck, theoretically. All right. There's a bunch of different rules about it. Just ask your homies. It's kind of fun. So, you know, the problem is with Karn, if a player casts a wish and brings in Charizard from outside and then it goes into the graveyard or whatever, that will then be part of that player's library when the new game begins. And because Charizard is banned, you'd probably get disqualified if it's in our deck physically. You know what I'm saying? So we can only wish it in at the sub game that we want it to be in, because if it's in our deck, then we get banned, and then it's, you know, it's not allowed. But since it's outside the game, it's technically not allowed. And then you bring it in, and then it only works once. Anyway, so here's the game 3 sub game from Charizard. So it's basically like Charizard, all players must leave the game, and they use the cards in their libraries as their decks to play the sub game. When it's over, they shuffle and return to the game, okay? And yeah, whatever. They resume the game, losing life. So that's the game, the layer 3 from the restarted layer of Karn Liberated that we got from our original Prismatic Bridge game, okay? So that's 3 layers. So in Inception, they, you know, what's the point? Well, they plant an idea. They have to go so deep in order to plant an idea in the subconscious. And that's the idea of what this deck is about, because we're planting the idea that you're absolutely insane. Your friends are going to know this because it's planted deep within their subconscious, because why else would you do this to them and yourself? You're a madman. Anyway, so the results of this deck is that you have no more friends, theoretically, hopefully. You have huge balls, for one. My God, send them to me. They probably seem massive to pull this off, because Charizard is $500, and to wish it in, you have to own it. And then it's memorable as hell. People are going to remember going 3 games deep to play 1 game of Magic the Gathering, and then they probably will never want to play with you again, which is kind of an upside and a downside, but all part of the fun in the end. So that's the end of the video. If you liked it, leave a like, and if you subscribe, subscribe. I hope to see you in the next one. Leave a comment down below if you enjoyed it, or if you would allow this deck to be played. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Have a nice one. Peace out.